GHOULIA Yelps. GHOULIA Yelps. GHOULIA Yelps. GHOULIA Yelps. Anyways, I'm gonna be annoying. I've been getting a ton of questions about GHOULIA, especially recently, and I'm assuming it's because of Monster High's resurgence. So I figured that I would just put it all together in a little video form for y'all, just because then that way it's easier and it's all together. So you don't have to wait for me to answer your DMs. And by the way, I will be putting everything in that everything that I used in the description below for your convenience if you want to grab exactly what I used. Yeah. Anyways, I guess we'll get right to it. I don't know. Whatever. Wow, what a beautiful transition. How about we start off with the pants? So, for GHOULIA's pants, I purchased these silly little guys. Since they are fit for kids, I purchased a size 14 to 16, although I do generally wear a size 2. They are scrunched together with elastic, so they are a little bit stretchy at the waist. However, the fabric itself does not budge. So please keep that in mind if you purchase this particular pair. Honestly, if this pair doesn't work for you, any red pants can work. You could also order some white pants and dye them, and also keep your eye out at thrift stores. Since these pants are plain red, and if you look at GHOULIA's doll, because I based all of this on her doll, you might notice one thing. Well, a couple things. But I drew on every single dot and line on these silly little pants. Though I did treat myself a little bit by adding on some extra little things here and there. So there's that, you know. As a treat, one could say. What did I use to paint these on? Well, I'm glad you asked. I used GAC 900 and acrylic paint. Super easy, right? Okay, so hear me out. GAC is a heat set medium, so basically you just mix it and acrylic paint in a 1-to-1 ratio, hit it with a hairdryer or throw it in the dryer. Bam! You not only have super easy to make, totally color customizable fabric paint, it's also way more affordable than purchasing a bunch of fabric paints. And it's just as good from my experience. I took my GAC 900, mixed it with the acrylic, and went to town on these pants. I would recommend using a ruler or something and actually planning it out, like all the lines and all the dots and all that. Plan it out with some like chalk or something, just something that you can easily wash off of the pants. And after that, go ahead and throw them in the dryer for about 20 minutes, and once they're all done, they're done. So go on ahead and flaunt them. But hold on. We're not even close to being done. The shirt? Well, shirts. Let's start off with the crop top though. Just like the pants, I snagged a crop top that would work as a base. This one was a bit more tricky than the pants though, since it's got all this going on. But let's take it one step at a time. Step 1, the cherry pattern. For this, I once again used GAC 900 and acrylic paint, a lot of eyeballing. I did mess up on it a bit though, and the pattern is supposed to look like this. And it's repeating while also kind of flipping around, but not. I drew it out for you anyways. Here you go. Whoa, it's right here just for you. After repeating the same process that I went through with the pants, just painting it all on, I threw them in the dryer to seal them. Yeah, go in there, get in that dryer. Get in that dryer, you stay in that dryer for a while. Contrary to what the footage shows, we are still missing the straps and the red bits. Step 2, sewing the red parts. For this, I had some extra 4-way stretch red fabric laying around. I cut out these really long rectangles, I guess you could say, I don't know. I sewed them up using a zigzag stitch together on the sides, and then I went through and put a little safety pin through one side and yoinked it through the tube to turn it inside out. Bonus points too, if you iron it down. Please iron your things, I learned that the hard way. Please iron your seam. It'll lay so nicely. To make sure it keeps its stretch, make sure you're using the zigzag stitch. I literally use this stitch for almost everything, by the way, so. Me and the zigzag stitch, bonded. We are bonded. You're gonna wanna be super careful when putting it on the shirt though. It definitely makes the shirt fit tighter. I would 100% recommend installing a zipper in the back if you can, just to make it easier to put on. I wanted to add in one last detail though. Step 3, the skullette. So for this, I'm gonna start off by saying that you can totally make this out of foam or cardboard, or literally anything that you have around. However, since it's accessible to me, since I have it on hand, I decided to 3D print it. And just so y'all know, I'm still learning 3D modeling, so let's not focus too much on this. Thanks. I'll still put a link or something so you can download the model I made just in case you have a 3D printer at hand. If not, again, no worries. You can make this out of literally anything else. You can also use EVA foam clay, there's cardboard, honestly. Just really anything. I took this little guy and I painted him up, and then I just hot glued him onto the shirt. So, yeah. And bam. He's all done. It's all done! Huh, I guess that was the last step for the crop top. So, on to the undershirt. For this, I ordered a long sleeve fitted turtleneck that has similar colors to GHOULIA's. Unfortunately, the exact one I ordered is no longer around. If you really want accuracy, you can go ahead and buy a white one and do the good old GAC 900 method. However, I will tell you that I did not have the soul for that. I happened to buy a turtleneck since that was the closest color scheme that I could find, and I just had to do a few alterations on it. I snipped off the top bit to make it a cold shoulder top, and then I just hemmed the edges. That's actually all I had to do for this portion, thankfully. Which means we get to move on to the boots! I definitely had a bit of trial and error here since I hadn't quite done something like this before. Don't worry, I also have them linked down in the bio. I also ordered some red laces to go with them too, though I think they might have actually come with a pair. The boots came a little bit wimbly wombly, so I did have to steam them in order to get the creases out. I also used a thread ripper to get the tags off the boots. After that, I went through and did the tried and true GAC 900 acrylic paint method. Yeah, again. Since I did not want to put these in the dryer, I used a hairdryer to seal the paint. You might notice that the black rubber parts are supposed to be white on her. Well, I made an oopsie and decided to paint it. And since it's rubber, it did not stay at all. If you have a good way of painting rubber, please let me know in the comments. Once you're all done painting them, go ahead and lace them up and bam, you have GHOULIA's boots. Now, onto the accessories. Let's start off with the belt, I guess? Since mine was originally black, I did have to go through and paint it white. And I used a pencil to basically draw out what I wanted to paint on as the piano notes. And I just, used GAC, acrylic, whatever, and I painted that on. And hit it with a blow dryer and bam! It's all done! Again! for the actual skulllette portion, the actual buckle of the belt, you can use EVA foam or cardboard to make this instead of 3D printing it. I took that 3D model, made it a little bit bigger, printed it out, glued it onto a piece of foam. I plasti dipped it and painted it, and then I just hot glued it onto the belt. For her earrings, I 3D printed out some zipper pieces, though you could easily remove these bits from other zippers and paint them or make them out of EVA foam again. I used a piece of wire in order to make them quickly wearable, just because I didn't have any actual earring hooks. However, I would recommend you go buy those just to be safe. For her gloves, I just used some fishnet fingerless gloves. And I also used a tattoo choker that I already had on hand for her necklace since I was low on time. I already had a headband that I just repainted green and used that. I also had a pair of old sunglasses that I just spray painted white just to save time. I was gonna 3D model it, but I realized that I did not have the skill set at the time to do so. Now we're officially on the last step, the wig. For GHOULIA's wig, I just grabbed a cheap lace front off of Amazon. Unfortunately, the one that I bought in particular is no longer in stock. However, I will be putting ones that seem pretty alright down in the description below. I also definitely did the old shake and go method with this wig. I did not style it whatsoever, hence why it's so wavy instead of being styled straight. If I had time as well, I would have actually grabbed a light blue wig and put low lights in it. Editing sour here, since I apparently completely forgot to record the rest of this. I can go over coloring wigs in a different thing if people are interested, but it does contain alcohol ink. But yeah, if there's demand for it, I will definitely go over it. However, I did want to bring up the makeup that I used. I used Mehron's Paradise paint in light blue and white. I personally prefer applying it with a beauty blender, but I do know that a ton of people enjoy applying it with brushes. I also go through and I seal it with translucent powder, though baby powder works too as a cheap alternative. I'll also add in a few links for good resources on body paint and conventions and all that. But aside from that, what are you waiting for? Slap all this together and bam! You now have GHOULIA Yelps. Go out there and achieve your zombie gal dreams. Hopefully this helped you out at least a little bit. I mean, honestly, I really don't know what I'm doing here, but I still hope that you enjoyed it. If you do happen to do anything from this tutorial, please share it with me. I really love seeing people's work. Let me cheer you on. Let me be your little cheerleader. And yeah, I truly hope you enjoyed this, and I really hope it helps you out. And yeah, anyways, follow me on anything. It's always SourBunBun. Anyways, bye, I guess.